deep-rooted mafia ruling of Mumbai starts from 1940 to 2000. And I had an opportunity to put a full stop to that in 2001 or 1998, 1999, 2001. In the year 1998, I came actually on 1st July 1998. So 6 months had gone. Already 50, 60 businessmen were shot dead by these gangsters.
Right.
I'll give you a background as to how they were emboldened in a minute or so. 97 also people were killed, 95 for that matter. Gulshan Kumar was shot dead, then Sunit Kata was shot dead. Rakesh Roshan was shot later, but he's not dead, thank God he's alive. But various others like Vallabh Thakkar, Om Prakash Kukreja, these are all builders. And lot of hoteliers and financiers and others were killed. Gangsters were killed in hundreds. So with all that background, they had reached the peak, and that is where someone thought I should be brought here. So by the end of the year 2001, 2002, the extortion calls as well as the shootouts by the police as well as the gangsters completely became zero. People used to get a call, your wife is wearing a red sari and your daughter is wearing a blue frock. So people used to get frightened. Blood used to get curdled. So that is the kind of scenario, and then one should say, looking backwards, now it looks so easy, but then 101 businessmen in a year is 3.5 days, one businessman worth a few millions shot dead on the road in his Mercedes car or in the office or in his house is not an easy joke to tackle.
Right.
People who died, their families suffered is apart, but I as a responsible police officer, I suffered immeasurably when someone was shot, someone was killed. The minute the news came, my heart used to sink. But I must tell you on record that anybody during those troubled times who came to us to complain about a problem was never shot. Never shot. So that kind of a guarantee we gave. Thank God, God only would have helped as a security guard for them. But nothing happened to them. So that gave us the impetus, the support that we mean business. Ask the Bollywood, if you have interviewed a lot of Bollywood people, ask them to relive those days, they'll be able to tell you that they would all put under the carpet because they would be nice to the gangsters, they would be nice to the police and all that. But lots of them got the confidence and we helped them to come out of that. It was a fantastic operation, particularly more so after this Gulshan Kumar killing is one. And the second is attempt on Rakesh Roshan's life. It is, I think, January 2000. That is the year it was attempted to be shot. Even as Commissioner of Police, Nagpur, Thane, Mumbai, it was 6 years again. When as a commissioner get time, if your mobile phone is available to... so I had given my mobile phone as Mumbai Police Commissioner in Times of India on the day number 1. It was 982-1515-333. Okay. It used to be ringing all the time, more so in the night. So the sleepless night was a common thing for all the policemen who are conscientious people who do their duty. Every Tom, Dick and Harry used to have an illegal weapon here. AK-47 and pistol and revolvers and hand grenades and things like that. So I started a campaign to the police saying that you bring a weapon or anything illegally, we'll give you so much of reward, which we hyped up the reward, let us say 100 times more than what it was. People got incentivized, they got motivated. Then various other things about extortionists, then this telephone tapping, for the first time I found out by walking into the BSNL office that we can tap the telephone of the foreign numbers which were being used here. Yeah. That was a revelation. Nobody ever thought about it earlier. So when I found that Pakistani numbers can be found, we got intelligence in advance. They were all sitting in the front. Some other men were sitting in the back. Police. When it came, it stopped. These fellows, without knowing who it is, they shot them through the glass and they died. They were never given a chance to take out the guns, get down, put up a fight. They would have done a fantastic job if there was an opportunity. Comte was one who always slept with an AK-47. Yeah. I got the chance to be the CP.
Just the next year.
The positive part of the thing is I got to become the CP Bombay. The morale of the people was very low. They lost the complete confidence in the government that they can't do anything about protecting us. And the earlier experience of 1993 was also there. And then the policemen lost all the dear and close colleagues, and they were not given the leadership which they deserve. So with that, my job was to build up the morale, and then they gave money for the asking. So we bought we got 28 bulletproof boots from Government of India. We bought another equally matching 29 bullets from bulletproof boats for patrolling the sea, because they came from the sea. And the Navy and the Coast Guards didn't stop them, even though intelligence was there. Intelligence was there, but they didn't do that. So because of that, we did this. And then I created a QRT where I went to Israel, met the police commander and brought trainers. And then we bought all the guns necessary, most modern guns. Then we got bulletproof vehicles from Mahindra, 85 lakhs each, 40 of them. Then the QRT was put in that, and they had the bulletproof jackets. They were not available when these guys died because of that. 18 of them died because of the bulletproof jackets were not available. So I bought them on the first day of my coming, because we asked the builders industry called MCHI, Maharashtra Chamber of Commerce, the Maharashtra Chamber of Housing Industry, MCHI. They gave 500 bulletproof jackets of the quality which we require. All the men were wearing. So it was all happening in one time.
Ladies and gentlemen, when you get to speak to real life heroes, it gives you goosebumps in a different way altogether, because such is the kind of realistic stories, such is the kind of impact that they have had on our society. And aaj jaake, in a lot of ways, because of these realistic heroes, we can breathe a sigh of relief in the air jahan pe hum rehte hain. If I talk about the city of Mumbai, meri karma bhumi hai jahan pe main kaam karta hu, and one personality who's fortunately my guest over here today, he has played a big role behind making Mumbai safe, a lot, I would say, a bit of a paradise for the people who live over here. D. Sivanandhan sir, it's an honor and privilege to have you. I think my smile says it all, that, I'm very happy when I shoot podcasts with Bollywood celebrities, etc., the on-screen heroes, but जब real life heroes के साथ बातचीत करने का मौका मिलता है, the smile and glow is something else only. And if I tell you about sir, sir has been the honorable former commissioner of Mumbai Police, and इनके पहले भी he has been a part of multiple ventures alongside his entire career, right from the year 1976, if I'm correct. Yes. Sir retired in the year 2011 as one of the most reputed IPS officers in the country. And बाकी मैं अभी नहीं बोलूंगा, हम लोग बातचीत करेंगे, so आप लोग figure out करोगे of the legacy that he has created. Sir, 1976 से you have been a part of the service. A lot has changed about Mumbai now. I would say a lot has changed about the police department right now. Yeah. क्या significant changes देखते हो sir आप आज के मुंबई पुलिस?
Subhojit, thank you so much to take me on your show.
My pleasure, sir. Honor is mine.
And then I must say, before joining the IPS, I was a professor of economics in the University of Madras.
Wow.
3 years I was trying to teach economics to students. I don't know whether they failed or I failed, but I cleared the IPS in the first attempt in 1975. 76. So that was the turning point in my life, and it became a very excitable roller coaster ride. So I have seen all these things grow from what economy to what economy, and kind of science and technology growth and everything. Fantastic, fascinating life.
And how have you seen the evolution of Mumbai Police? हमारे देश के one of the strongest police forces माना जाता है Mumbai Police, right?
I must say the Mumbai Police and the Maharashtra Police were the finest there, and then now also. People used to compare with Scotland Yard and all that. But I must say the challenges that time were different. The let us say the value, the quality of the property is lost and all that. Now, if a simple wristwatch stolen would be 10 crores and 5 crores, those time people didn't have.
Right.
So the number of the high-end cars we have, the high-end bungalows we have, for example, each flat is costing 200 crores and all that. That wasn't there that time.
Right.
Amount of money lost and all that was very, very limited quantity. So the challenges were different. But that time, the whole thing worked on the basis of the human relationship. For example, the people who will give you information, they call them as kabri. Whereas now it's all electronic intelligence, eavesdropping, electronic intelligence. We are way ahead of others in this case. So it's like using of a satellite station and keeping the CCTV cameras and bugs and evasion, all sorts of things we do. So I think the whole world has changed topsy-turvy, and the policing also has become a big challenge. For that matter, I must tell you that before 1992, the terrorism was a new concept in the whole of the country. Mumbai was the first place where the terrorist attack took place on March 12th, 1993, after the Babri Masjid demolition on December 6, 1992. That was a shocker. And you must know, after that, repeated bomb blasts and all the chain bomb blasts. 2008 was the highest. It ended with that attack on Tajan Oberoi, about which we can speak later. But then we had in Jaipur, Bangalore, various places we had chain of blasts. So I must say the world has become topsy-turvy. And as the years go by with artificial intelligence coming, it is not only be used by you, people like you, youngsters who are capable, but even the others, the thieves and the dacoits and the robbers, as well as the even terrorists would use all this science and technology. In fact, to be very frank with you, they are the fastest one to adapt to such things. Government takes its own time because of budgetary and constraints. We take very baby steps, whereas they take giant leaps.
Sir, you mentioned about this and the attacks later on. We'll come to that. I want to come slowly and slowly as per the tenure that you have had. Around the 1976 when you started and 1980s was the time, the concept of organized crime was growing in this country, right? And उसके पहले लोगों ने कुछ ज़्यादा सुना नहीं था उसके बारे में. You have always had a big role in terms of tackling all that using strategic, I would say strategic measures and intelligence, which has always been like recognized as a USP for Sivanandhan sir, right? I want to understand where did all the learnings take place, because I'm sure just like you, there are many other honorable cops over there, but to integrate the use of strategy into implementation are two different things. What do you think you got right as that super cop of Mumbai?
In a short line, I want to tell you, Subhojit, that the mafia didn't start in 1980s. The 1970s or so was Chicago, Italian mafia, Sicily, the Godfather and all that. Whereas India had from 1940s, Karim Lala, the Pathan gang, he had come from Afghanistan and stayed in Mumbai and then did that. Then later your this Varadarajan Mudaliar had come. Uske pehle Haji Mastan had come. These two guys are from Tamil Nadu, my home state. Then the others came. Then the other youngsters came, like your Dawood Ibrahim, son of the Mumbai police Havaldar. And then along with them, other partners who worked with him were separated. For example, your Chhota Rajan, Arun Gavli, Amar Naik, this various others like that had come. So the legacy or the deep-rooted mafia ruling of Mumbai starts from 1940 to 2000. And I had an opportunity to put a full stop to that in 2001 or 1998, 99, 2001.
That was the time when you became the
joint CP crime. Mumbai, that's it. So this is one part of the story. The other question you asked is that how did I get into this? So one thing is the hard work everybody does, nothing great about it. Honesty, everyone says it has to be there. Whether it is there or not, we will not comment. But what differentiated is the fire in the belly. The Martin Luther King saying that if you're doing the job of a street cleaner, clean it in such a way that the road shines like a mirror. People bring their combs to comb their hair. That's what he said. So I used to take it very seriously. I said, whatever I do, we have to do. So this intelligence, and the use of technology way ahead of others I could do because of my initial training in the intelligence bureau. I worked in the intelligence bureau from 1987 to 1993, 6 years as assistant director, and that had an international exposure because I was the FRRO, Foreigners Regional Registration Officer, in charge of the Mumbai airport. All the immigration, passport control, everything was there. So that had an international exposure.
Right.
Without going abroad, abroad was coming to me. So there it was a fantastic field, and we did a lot of operations. That time, for example, of course, I had a basic IB training. For almost running into 6 months, the basic training was given to me in Delhi. Doyens like Mr. M.K. Narayanan, he was the later NSA and the West Bengal governor. He and all was the chief of IB, and they took care of my training and things like that. So I had to learn a lot in the IB, and then surveillance, going behind people, then executing things, operations, so many things, But I want to tell you, the difference is, it is like a seed flying in the air. Whether it falls on a fertilized land or in a barren land, that depends upon the growth of the tree, right?
Correct.
So in the same way, all that inputs I got, I imbibed, learned more about it, learned more about the other countries and other operations, and then when I got a chance, I used it. So I also worked at a later stage, as the Joint Director of CBI, that is Central Bureau of Investigation, a very reputed investigator. It is very rarely someone does both these organizations. Right. I got a chance there. I had Rajasthan, Gujarat, Goa and Maharashtra. So this combination worked well. Now, suddenly in between, I got a chance to work in the Naxal affected area, which is Dandakaranya. That is the Jilla of Gadchiroli, Chandrapur, and Gondia and Bandara in the Nagpur region. 500 kilometers of thick forest. And where the Naxals ruled actually. So everywhere they will have ambush. Ambush is a 360 degrees firing on a single target. Correct. Maybe a vehicle, maybe an individual, or maybe a landmine where our vehicles go and then you get blown up in the sky in the air. Thousands of people have died. A lot of IPS officers have died. So these are areas where I could use my training in the intelligence and cultivate people, see, for example, I can explain that in a city like Delhi or Mumbai, an encounter with an organized crime member is very easy to do and nothing happens actually. And that person and his thing gets snubbed. Maybe others take a lesson and don't do it. But in Naxal affected areas, you are a Bengali, you should know, because it began from Bengal. Naxal Bari. You kill one fellow and 100 other Naxals come. They are ideology driven. Whereas these people are driven by the pursuit of money. So I hope you understand. Absolutely. So here is the intelligence background I got and the knowledge about studying about Mao or about his philosophy or about Godfather or about Mario Puzo or whoever it is. All these things help. But then it is the baby with the bathwater. What does the baby do with the bathwater? Is its own choice. Right. So I had a chance to learn, imbibe and implement it. So that is one. The other reason for my success as a crime control officer, was I also worked in between before going to Gadchiroli in the year 95-98. 93-95, I worked as additional Commissioner of Police Crime Branch, where I did all basic work on paper, crime, criminals and their dossier and the computerization. The computer was very new that time. Right. PC483, dabba, used to come.
I wasn't even born.
You're not born, so you don't. Thank God you didn't see those dabbas. So those huge dabbas used to come in computer. So all that background work and the due diligence I had done did help in recall. One more example I'll give is the understanding, the pulse of the workforce, the team which you build should be known to a leader.
True.
So I had come to know the pulse of my team people the Mumbai police, while working in the airport immigration, I could see as to what is greed, what is this, what is that, who would work, and all that kind of a thing, which got more strengthened when I worked as additional CP crime. So when I came as joint CP crime in the year 98 from the jungles of Gadchiroli,
right.
my skills were honed already there. And then there we did Jana Jagran Abhiyan, where 10,000 Adivasis will come from morning to evening. We fed them rice and chawal and gave them all about legal knowledge, how to wean them away from Naxal influence. So that kind of things on a different level, this kind of a thing at a different level. So it was a combination of everything, reading, writing, seeing, everything. So this is where you make a difference and you come out of the rut of the others and make a name for yourself. Ultimately, I want to tell you, it is your desire to leave a punch which leaves a dent in the universe. We have all lived in the universe. If no one knows 8 billion people, if nobody knows who is Subhojit Ghosh,
Right.
what is the use of working?
Correct.
So you leave a dent, which I tried.
So that effort has 100% resulted in great results. I want to ask this as a continuation to what you said. 1998 was the time when you became joint CP Mumbai Police, right? And in 2001 उसके बाद से हम लोग ने अंडरवर्ल्ड की एक्टिविटीज completely वो जो extortion calls होते थे वो सब completely बंद हो गया. I want to understand the fact that you had an experience of controlling Naxalite areas, which I believe is a lot tougher than controlling underworld of any state. Do you think that because आपके पास already वो तजुर्बा था to handle that kind of stuff, which is why maybe handling Mumbai underworld was a little easier for you? ये सच बात?
True. See, what happened that time, things were going out of hand for the government of Maharashtra. In the year 1998, I came actually on 1st July 1998. So 6 months had gone. Already 50-60 businessmen were shot dead by these gangsters.
Right.
I'll give you a background as to how they were emboldened in a minute or so. 97 also people were killed, 95 for that matter. Gulshan Kumar was shot dead, then Sunit Kata was shot dead. Rakesh Roshan was shot later, but he's not dead, thank God he's alive. But various others like Vallabh Thakkar, Om Prakash Kukreja, these are all builders. And lot of hoteliers and financiers and others were killed. Gangsters were killed in hundreds. So with all that background, they had reached the peak, and that is where someone thought I should be brought here. Obviously, they went into the background, found out who is fit, unfit and all that. And then I was brought here. It took some time for me to understand and all that. And then because jungle of Gadchiroli to Mumbai, then this kind of a job, I told you baby with the bathwater, how to splash it around. It took some time, but then strategies emerged. And we used all the strategies which is tested and proved or invented and proved. So by the end of the year 2001, 2002, the extortion calls as well as the shootouts by the police as well as the gangsters completely became zero. From any child born, youngsters like you after 2000 onwards would not even know what is a gangster, what is a mafia, what is organized crime, what is a bullet. Otherwise, so many officers had bullet holes in their glasses in the office. And people used to get a call, your wife is wearing a red sari and your daughter is wearing a blue frock. So people used to get frightened. Blood used to get curdled. So that is the kind of scenario. And then one should say, looking backwards, now it looks so easy. But then 101 businessmen in a year is 3.5 days, one businessman worth a few millions shot dead on the road in his Mercedes car or in the office or in his house is not an easy joke to tackle.
Right.
People who died, their families suffered is apart, but I as a responsible police officer, I suffered immeasurably when someone was shot, someone was killed. The minute the news came, my heart used to sink. So, because I held myself responsible. I never thought somebody is there, I had to go there and play my role. No, I thought I am responsible for stopping it. And that is what helped me in stopping it one day.
The kind of measures that you took to stop mafia, it's not easy at all given the kind of experience and हम जैसे लोग बाहर से जब देखते, it's definitely not easy, right? And when you are troubling the people who are actually the troublemakers, of course they are not happy, right? So the kind of threat calls that you spoke about, ki, your wife will, this will happen, your child, this will happen. Did you also experience these kind of threat calls? Sir,
No, thank God, they never had a.
Nobody dared to
never. I didn't give them an opportunity to frighten me. The frightening is always one-sided.
Right.
It is my name which frightened them. Otherwise, in the cinemas they show that the people get and all. These are all exaggerated ones. If you are straightforward, simple, and don't owe anything to anybody, there is no question of anyone trying their tricks and all that. I never carried a gun. I never carried a policeman. I never had a Z-scale security. But then everything was worked out very well. It is the confidence. See, basic idea is very simple, Subhojit. When you get a call and someone says, I'll shoot you, I'll shoot your wife, and if I tell you, no, don't bother, I'll take care of you and I will do this, that, and that. Later you see me in the bazaar with a Z-scale security of 12 men in front of me, car in front, car behind and all. You will say, this mighty police commissioner, he is carrying so much of police force, whereas he is telling me to go alone and face the bullet. Do I give you the confidence?
No.
I give a confidence to you when I walk alone, when I go everywhere, go to gatherings, go to cinema hall, you see me. A lot of people used to ask, sir, you alone like this? I said, I'm enjoying my freedom. So that is how the confidence was built. But I must tell you on record that anybody during those troubled times who came to us to complain about a problem was never shot. Never shot. So that kind of a guarantee we gave. Thank God, God only would have helped as a security guard for them. But nothing happened to them. So that gave us the impetus, the support that we mean business.
And also, I'm sure because, the efficiency of Mumbai police was capable enough to protect those people who came to complain, a lot of people who were perhaps getting the threat calls but were not coming to complain, they also must have got the confidence later.
Ask the Bollywood, if you have interviewed a lot of Bollywood people, ask them to relive those days, they'll be able to tell you that they would all put under the carpet because they would be nice to the gangsters, they will be nice to the police and all that. But lots of them got the confidence and we helped them to come out of that. It was a fantastic operation, particularly more so after this Gulshan Kumar killing is one. And the second is attempt on Rakesh Roshan's life. It is, I think, January 2000. That is the year it was attempted to be shot. Then we opened it up and then we helped them to grow into a status of industry by the government, and the loans came from banks and other organizations. They were given free, we freed them from the clutches of the gangsters from whom they borrowed money at usurious rate of interest. So all that helped them to come out, and now they are all, except one or two small cases where these gangs come up in the recent days, all others are all, everything is fine.
Everything is fine. And but sir, when you were strategizing that how I eliminate, because Bollywood is film culture, Bollywood has glamour, Bollywood has money, and Underworld also has all sorts of black money and all that stuff. So it's very natural for the two to come together if we look at it from the outside, right? How did you strategize? No, this is, I have to put an end to this, and you were actually successful in that. How did you strategize that?
Yeah, strategy is nothing to do with Bollywood, I must tell you. Bollywood is part of our society, but more is the common people who are attacked, common businessmen, exporters, importers, Gujaratis, Marwadis. They were in hundreds and thousands. We have put these Bollywood people on a pedestal. One small thing, the whole world starts shaking.
Correct.
But my numbers and my palpitation in the heart came from the killings and beatings of the people who were from the other industries like export-import, this hotel industry, restaurants. Restaurants, lot of dancing girls and gambling dens and prohibition joints. They were all ruled by the mafia only. They had the territory, they had a fight, who will control which area and all that. So those things were my focus. Bollywood happened incidentally, but the glamour of dealing with Bollywood was different because they had that glamour quotient. But then my focus was mostly on the businessmen, people, builders, contractors, hoteliers, financiers. These are the people who were shot much more in number.
what kind of threats would they give? कि ये जो हफ्ता
Earlier, sorry to butt in, Subhojit.
Yeah.
Earlier used to be all in person. People used to go personally, demand, threaten, show knife, gun, and all that. Later on, when the technology, as I said in the beginning,
Right.
technology has changed in leaps and bounds. Then these people had the telephone calls, mobile phones. You know, in '95 there was no mobile phone when I came here. Then some huge equipment, communicator came. Then this punching thing came. So many things came. Later, when virtual private network came, these guys became almost invisible. Nobody knew where from he is calling. So earlier we used to have a number, you know, when you call, the call number used to come. So, or these gangsters used to dictate, Abhi, Lelo number, the bike number, +91, blah, blah, blah. So people used to come and give it to us. We used to take it on the tapping line. So that is how my focus was on the general control of all the, we will call that maintenance of law and order in one phrase, you know. So that is how it was. So it is to tell you the truth, it is like every day you learn a new thing. Every day while you are running, you trip and fall and get up and run. So that is the kind of a thing. So it was fantastic. It was learning.
Yeah.
They also learned from us, I suppose.
Of course.
Because for them it was sustenance and living.
Right.
And for us it is proving that we are proving one-upmanship and also giving protection to the people who believed that Mumbai police is the best police.
And sir, leading from the front is the most exemplary thing. When you're dealing with so many complaints of people जिनको धमकी मिल रहा है, आप खुद बाहर अगर जाते हो without weapon, without any artillery, then it gives the confidence to people that हमारे joint CP सर जो है या फिर हमारे कमिश्नर सर जो है वो अगर ऐसे घूम रहे तो फिर हम भी relaxed होके मुंबई के air में we can breathe, right?
True.
I want to ask you, sir, I know it's going to be like a difficult question, but what is the most difficult case that you have handled in your entire career, sir?
You know, all these cases, every case is the very important case. What would give me a guilty feeling is when some children were assaulted in the slums, where a serial rapist or anybody would assault, molest and leave the children. And if those cases go undetected, even though there were people living in slums and even though they were small and many people will put it only in statistics, to me as a humane person, that would hurt more and I'll remember that. So if you think that I'm going to answer that the killing of, let us say, Sunit Katao or some big man, mover and shaker or a builder, or for that matter politicians, 5-6 politicians were shot dead, MLAs and others. If you say that that was the one which we detected and I feel proud about it, it is not true. For me, the smallest of things which went undetected, where a small slum children were assaulted sexually, and if we are not able to detect, that would give me more soft feeling, or I would feel hurt about that. So I am a person from the level where I empathize and sympathize with people who can't afford to hire a top lawyer or who can't afford to buy the police by paying money and get into action. So some of the toughest cases could be that. And then every case, wherever there is a shootout, whether it is Gulshan Kumar or Taqiyuddin Wahid, East West Airline, or Om Prakash Kukreja, all those cases were. On that day of 18/10/1998, where the business people had threatened before in a meeting in Birla Krida Kendra, where the CM and the Deputy CM were there, Mr. Manohar Joshi and Mr. Gopinath Munde, they had said we will do we will celebrate Black Diwali by putting black flags on the houses. So that was a threat by 800 people who were from 800 different types of businesses. On that day, 18/10/98 was Diwali, and lo and behold, I had 3 shootouts to visit. Early in the morning in Antap Hill, 6 o'clock, somebody entered in somebody's house and shot. Then, afternoon in Dadar, and then evening, Pali Hill. So, my Diwali turned out to be a black Diwali because I had to visit. I visited every shootout and arrested those people and sorted it out for them. That is how the check happened. So I must say, to jump your gun, In case 1998, they had done 101 shootouts because of the strategies I followed.
Right.
Empathy, sympathy, bringing a law and all that, which I will tell you again. You asked me. The shootouts of criminals or businessmen became 48. And then the next year, that is 98, 99, 48. Then 2000 was 23, and the next year 2001 was 12. From 2002, it is 0 up to 2025 January, where Siddiqui was shot in Bandra, Baba Siddiqui.
Right.
So for a good 23, 25 years, we gave peace. So earlier, you can say the buildings were not sold, flats were not sold, cars were not sold, fancy mobiles were not sold because people were afraid of the extortion call. Now it is 77 floors, 100 floors, and Mercedes, BMW, Audi cars are in lakhs, People are thriving, flourishing. So that is because of the Mumbai police and their activities.
When you were a part of those responsibilities, sir, which was the broader idea was to make the city safer, the state safer, right? How many sleepless nights did you yourself have?
Every night was sleepless night. That way for a lot of policemen it's sleepless nights only. Even in a benign job, Subhojit, like immigration officer, I told you I was in charge of FRRO.
Right.
The nights was the maximum time the flights used to come. The bunching of flight, 3-4 flight, रात को 2 बजे आता था. So daytime the flights were not there. So daytime I used to be in the office meeting all foreigners, registration and all. But night time when I went, it was sleepless night and sleepless day. People used to wonder how these guys come. I was young, you know.
Yeah.
So even as Commissioner of Police, Nagpur, Thane, Mumbai, it was 6 years again. Then as a commissioner get time if your mobile phone is available to. So I had given my mobile phone as Mumbai Police Commissioner in Times of India on the day number 1. It was 982-1515-333. Okay. It used to be ringing all the time, more so in the night. So the sleepless night was a common thing for all the policemen who are conscientious people who do their duty. So it was all right. So no case made you sleepless. Every case was sleepless only. But then your job itself is that, you know. And the activity of the criminals would be more in the night.
Right.
I remember in 95 I was additional CP crime and later I was additional CP Bandra. I had Bandra to Borivali, Kandivali, a long stretch. Now it is 2 additional commissioners are there. All the shootouts of killing the businessman would happen only at 9:30 in the night. So I had a house in Ambaravanti in Malabar Hill. So from Carter Road, I will go tired, reach at 9:30, remove the uniform, try to eat some food. And the call will come from control room saying that in Kandivali, Borivali, some businessman was shot dead. I used to feel tired, but I used to wear my uniform again and take those days. Cars were not air conditioned also. All the way you go throughout the night, you stand there. And then, for example, Taqiyuddin Wahid was shot right in Bandra, Carter Road ke piche at about 9:30. Then you go and then stand throughout the night. You do all operations, mop up, this, that, and all that. And those things were happening every third day, fourth day, I told you. So sleepless night was a part of the existence. Every day, yeah.
Yeah. But it's so good to see you, healthy with a great memory. You remember all the dates, you remember all the years.
Yeah.
So touch wood, that's a great sign and indication. Sir, I want to understand that, when you were leading so many efficient police officers, जब कभी-कभी आपके तरफ से motivation 100% होता है, but sometimes the other people are not having the same energy or the same. हो सकता है goal same हो. So how did you build that team around yourself? Because the greatest quality of the kind of post that you have had, sir, DGP, commissioner, is of a leader. At the end of the day, you are leading, right? So how did you ensure that with your leadership, you create a great community of officers who are wholly and solely dedicated to the country and
One thing, Subhojit, the finest thing you can build a team, finest team you can build, provided there is 100% trust between the team and the leader.
Right.
The leader has to lead. He is not a manager. Manager is one who is managing.
Correct.
Idhar ka udhar and all that. A leader is one who stands in the front. So if there is something which went wrong and if some murder is registered, you can't run away and say that the team has to suffer murder. case and I will be safe. That is not the possibility. So if anything happens to them, you should go and tackle and sort it out as if it happened to you. And then you take responsibility, you know. For example, 1997, when I was in the jungles of Gadchiroli, when Javed Fauda was shot by an ACP, by an inspector who became later ACP, and the Samajwadi Party leader, Abu Azmi, filed a criminal petition in the court, High Court, saying that this is a fake murder, fake encounter. So then Justice Aguiar, who was a principal judge of the Sessions Court that time, later he became High Court judge, so I call him Justice Aguiar, he was given the task of inquiring. He inquired and found out that it is a fake murder, and then he also said 95 other encounters were also fake, they are murders. Now imagine 95 multiplied by, let us say, a team would consist of 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So those many people are going to face murder charges. It was a fright wave. And the spines were all chilling for them. They went underground. They said, why did we do anything like this if we are going to face the murder charge? So that is the time I had come from there. Already the case was going on. So I want to tell you, your question to answer is trust. I have told them, trust me, I will see that you are away from these cases. Nothing will happen. And all these people, Salaskar and various others were all involved in those crimes. I said I will save you from this case. So Mr. Manohar, one of the top class lawyer, was engaged and he appeared and he argued in front of Justice Ranjana Desai of Mumbai High Court and one more judge. They gave complete clean chit to the police and they gave guidelines as to agar aisa kuch hona hai, what all the things to follow. 14 years later, it went to Supreme Court immediately, appeal. But then when the result came, that was Justice R.M. Lodha of Supreme Court. He reiterated that what the Mumbai police did is right and these are the instructions they have to follow in case of. That is the thing applicable all over the country now. Any encounter, they have to follow such a thing. So we did a trailblazing thing. Now coming back to your question, if I had said, you did whatever you did, now you go to the gallows, I don't care a damn about it, now you come and do what I am telling. Do you think anybody will come and risk their life? अरे पहले से हमारा seat is on fire or we are going to go to the gallows. Why will I follow that?
Right.
So that is how you create confidence. You say and do it. If you say and don't do it, again they will not trust you. So then, of course, treating them well and giving them rewards, giving them awards, giving them the boost, giving them the medal, and giving them all the recognition, front page photograph opportunity in the newspaper all the time. You don't hog, they are called the heroes and things like that. They all were the moral boosters.
Imagine, I'm just telling the audience that imagine you're working relentlessly hard to ensure that जो state में आप काम कर रहे हो वहाँ पे आपको you make it safer and then you face murder charges for actually cleaning the city. I think it's absolutely horrible, right? You talked about the encounter part, sir. Vijay Salaskar, sir, unfortunately, 26/11 के attacks के time पे we lost him. But Salaskar, sir, was absolutely phenomenal in that encounter squad. We have other few names as well.
All others. See, I want to tell you, 60% of the encounters. So, encounter is actually, I want to put it on record to your people.
Yeah.
Nothing illegal about it, nothing romanticizing about it. It's all the Bollywood and people have romanticized it. It's basically where anybody meets anybody and that's an encounter. But here, unfortunately, the gangsters were emboldened because of the petition, 1997 petition, and they thought police is not going to do. So when I came and encouraged them, they used to go and arrest them. That is where they shot the police and then the police warned them and all. It's a very legal process. Section 100 of the Indian Penal Code. That time it was Indian Penal Code. Recently it has changed to BNS. 44, section 44 of BNS, Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita. Under that it was all done. There wasn't any complaint, there was any illegality about that. Everything was above board. I want to put the record straight to your people, listeners and viewers, that nothing illegal about it. Encounter is unnecessarily uska badnaam ho gaya hai. Whoever did an illegal encounter have been punished by the courts.
Right.
Lot of cases where the people went overboard and did wrong things, they have been punished. But I am talking about people who did legally jobs. Now that we spoke more on encounters, I want to tell your viewers, without you asking a question, it is not the encounter which solved the matter of this problem. It is something else. You know, I want to tell you that it is the MCOCA, new law, Maharashtra Control of Organized Crime. We made in 1999. I was in the group which made it, and implementing that by arresting, let us say, Milind Vaidya was the first case. He was the two-time mayor. Some Azizuddin came, a gangster from Dawood Ibrahim gang. He shot people, 3 of them dead. Milind Vaidya was alive. We got their conviction of a death sentence and life sentence and a collective fine of 1 crore 5 lakhs of rupees in 1 year of the incident happening. Now, if you see the Salman Khan case, it took 20 years. Now, if you see the 2006 bomb blast of railways, Daba, railway thing, pressure cooker bomb, it took 17 years. Then Malegaon case, if you take 17 years. Whereas we made a law, we implemented it in its majesty, where within 1 year the case was tried and the conviction happened. This sent the wave of fright amongst the gangsters. So I call this as the Brahmastra.
Yes.
So I wrote a book about the Brahmastra. And the Brahmastra, my dear viewers, is the MCOCA law enacting exclusively for Mumbai. Within a very short period it was enacted and it was implemented majestically, and the law was frightening for people. So that controlled the wave of criminality. The other one, so one encounter was over, second is MCOCA is over. The third, Subhojit, is a law which was forgotten before called MPDA, where we can detain, the Commissioner of Police can detain a criminal under certain circumstances, subject to the approval of the government and the High Court, and detained for 1 year. That is a judicial power given to the Commissioner. All over the country it is there. So I recommended, dusted it and karke naya banaya. We made that 1600 cases in 3 years. So 1600 man years was spent behind the bars. I hope you understand the implication. If I lock you up for 1 year, 1 year you can't do anything about it. If 1600 people were locked up, crime to control hona chahiye.
Bilkul.
Now, unfortunately, nobody spoke about this, which we did. Earlier it wasn't used. The law was there. Later on also it came down. So that is another combination. It's a dose of combination of medicines you have to give to a disease. So, एक encounter हो गया है, then legally, second is the MCOCA enactment and implementing it, and the third is the detention, and the fourth is every Tom, Dick and Harry used to have an illegal weapon here. AK-47, then pistol and revolvers and hand grenades and things like that. So I started a campaign to the police saying that you bring a weapon or anything illegally, we'll give you so much of reward, which we hiked up the reward, let us say 100 times more than what it was. People got incentivized, they got motivated. Then various other things about extortionists. Then this telephone tapping, for the first time I found out by walking into the BSNL office that we can tap the telephone of the foreign numbers which were being used here. That was a revelation. Nobody ever thought about it earlier. So when I found that Pakistani numbers can be found, we got intelligence in advance. The same Bollywood, I don't know whether you remember before you were born, as you said, they used to show police as one who came late and the blue whistles and everything was already over. No, to save them, we had a very much advanced intelligence. We had 1 day before intelligence. We surrounded the house. Very top actors like Amir Khan, O.P. Datta, or Mahesh Bhatt, and so many others. We provided them the Suraksha Chakra. And so then onwards, no police, no Bollywood ever showed police coming late and blowing the whistles.
Absolutely.
I'm sure you have not seen in your generation any movie where the police is supposed to be coming late and blowing. Not at all. During my generation, the blue half pant they used to wear and the patti, they will come and blow the whistle, pee, 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 I used to think, what is this, We changed it.
Absolutely.
The perception of the Bollywood changed. So we had this advanced intelligence. So I would say these are the strategies. Using the telephone tapping power of the foreign numbers, where the Ganga of information flew. Cambodia, where Chhota Rajan was ensconced in a yacht. So that number, with that, how did I get all those numbers? When you got the call, the gangsters left that number. You come to me and you give me, sir, they are asking me to call this number and pay money. I took that. So that is where the confidence was built. That is how we got the day-to-day information. We told you, I'm tapping the phone. We are listening to your call, and you say this, and all that. Policemen stood there, they held the hand of the victim and supported. These are the techniques which we followed, and the success was not too far.
I mean, all these things sound very fancy and interesting, but when you do it, it's a lot tougher. I want to come to the 93 blast, sir, which is recognized in India as the first activity of terrorism. I believe the RDX was brought around 1992 or 1993.
See, December 6 was the Babri Masjid breaking down, and then end of December and beginning of January, it all came to Dighi Port. Dighi Port is in Raigad,
Right.
and with the connivance of the customs officers and various others, it was brought. The quantity is, hold your breath, 4,000 kilos is 4 metric tons of RDX. You can blow the whole city to pieces. And then 2,000 AK-47, 2,000 hand grenades and pistols and things like that. It's not a small amount.
Absolutely.
It is a huge armory where a military base can hold and use. That much was brought. This is supplied by the Inter-Services Intelligence of the Pakistan, ISI of Pakistan, through the courtesy of our own dreaded gangster who can never be pardoned and forgiven, Dawood Ibrahim.
4,000 odd number of RDX, but when the attacks happened, sir, was the entire quantity used?
Only 300 kilos was used. 3,700 kilos we found in Nagla Bandar, Pani ke andar in Thane. In a lake, it was found hidden. But that was after the case was detected. This Tiger Memon and his family was involved, and they all ran away one day night before. 12th it happened, 11th night they went away to Pakistan, and we could not catch them. Later Yaqub Memon was brought and hung. A huge funeral took place. But then only a part of it was used. In that also many of the unexploded scooters and vehicles were found in various places. We removed them and detonated them.
So we got rid of the remaining RDX.
Yes.
Completely.
We gave it to the military for disposal. 3,700 kilos. As per the law, we gave it to them. And the attack took place in 12 places.
Right.
Bombay Stock Exchange, Air India, Sea Rock Hotel, Century Bhavan, and various places like that. It is between 1 o'clock to 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Serial blast, 12.
Sir, what was your role in the Department of Police when the railway attack happened? When the train
I was
attack happened?
Thane Police Commissioner. As luck would have it, nothing happened there. No
It
train.
happened in the western
It
line,
happened in the different line. I don't know whether to thank God or what, but it was in a different line. But my colleagues in Mumbai who were there at the helm of affairs, they did a splendid job of doing everything. But unfortunately, the case got acquitted recently, which was not good for us. But then I escaped as the Thane Police Commissioner. This is 2006.
Long back.
2006.
Sir, when the police department works so hard to, convict these criminals and the people who are there, and after some time, because of law or by molding the law, if they get acquitted and if they get away, isn't it demoralizing?
It is demoralizing, Subhojit, but then there are a lot of things, a lot of factors which are there in this acquittals. So my basic theory I want to say is, if you want to control crime in this country, please do the trials faster. It is a criminal judicial, so the courts have to take lead. The lawyers have to help and victims have to help. All the people have to help. We cannot have an acquittal or a conviction after 20 years. So in any case, if the fellows were really innocent, why did we waste their 20 years of time in the...
Absolutely.
And if they're really criminals, why are we allowing them to go now? So that is the dilemma. So my point is, please viewers, think about it. These trials have to happen fast. 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, acquittals in a limited time. Even if the cases were acquitted after 1 year or 2 year of trial, I will be very happy. We will be able to establish the truth, and then our cases will stand trial. So, when you ask about demoralization, the investigating officer is no more. I don't know what happened to him. He would have gone retired or dead or whatever it is. So he's not there to suffer the remorse. And all the victims also, we don't know what happened to them, where their families, their interests, various things. Then the witnesses, 20 years later, 17 years later, what is their interest? They say bygones are bygones. I don't remember. Memory also. So this is the problem actually. So when it is demoralizing us, rightly as you said, we also feel that it is absolutely injustice to all the concerned parties, because this trial and justice comes little too late, 20 years to be precise.
That's a long time. छोटा बच्चा पैदा होके बड़ा हो जाता है, to a grade college जाने लगता है.
Yeah.
You know. So I want to come to from 2006. I want to come to 2008, 26 November. जितना मैंने सर पता है आपके बारे में कि I believe you were with your colleagues for a dinner somewhere.
I was for a dinner, but I was not the commissioner of police. If I was the commissioner of police, things perhaps could have been different because of the involvement of the people, knowledge of the commandos which I created in 2000. Commandos created in 1998 as the joint commissioner. I had come against the organized crime. So they were all available. We could have done differently. But then I was the commissioner intelligence for the state minus the city. So I was working with the DGP in the DGP's office that time, 4 nights, 4 days. We didn't go home. We helped the NSG and various others, government, the home minister and various others. We helped them in tackling all these things. I was having a dinner in a doctor's house and saw and left the whole thing and ran to the DGP's control room, and we sat there and tried to help. But the entire responsibility completely was that of the commissioner and his intelligence setup. But then what happened, everything is known to people. I don't have to repeat. But then there was a problem, and the number of people died was 165 and injured were 200 more or more. The 93 was the highest ever. 257 people died and 857 people were injured and quite a few missing. Property loss was hundreds of crores. 2006, this railway blast, 200 people died and 400 people were injured. So this is the number. So let us say in all other small things put together, would have lost about 1,000 people in this bomb blast and the terrorist attacks. And this is from 1992. One thing I must say about the bravery in this 26/11 you asked about the police officers of Mumbai. A small constable called Ashok Pawar was going home and he saw the RPF constable in VT. He was in plain clothes and somebody's gun was stuck up. He helped and the Kasab saw and shot him dead on the head. Matter of bravery. He could have gone home. This Tukaram Umle is another legend, I must say. He was an ex-Air Force airman. He was recruited in the police and then he went and took all the bullets and caught a living, live, active terrorist for the first time perhaps in the history. Did us a great favor. And Ashok Kamte, I am talking about, the additional commissioner, a direct IPS officer, and also Hemant Karkare, who was the ATS chief, and Salaskar and various others. They all went out of their jurisdiction, went there to VT, met and went to, and also mention about the present DG of NIA, Mr. Sadanand Date. He was additional CP Central Region. He went to South, some other area, which is not his area. He went to Kama Hospital and put up a fight against this Kasab and Iqbal who were there. 2 of the men who had accompanied him were dead and he himself was injured. So all these stories are stories of heroism, bravery. People went and lost their lives. They did a supreme sacrifice. So when you talk of 26/11/2008, I cannot forget the contribution of all these people. I erected a memorial for them on the Marine Drive. The government didn't spend money, but I got a friend of mine to design and execute a fantastic one with 18 pillars and lamps and water cascading and all that. In this coastal road extension, they have taken it to the police commissioner's office. It is still there. It is 18 pillars. 16 policemen, including Ashok Kamte and Hemant and all. Two of the NSG officers, one is Major
Sandeep
Uni Krishnan and Havaldar Gajendra Singh, 18 of them. My salute to them and my heart goes to their families. They gave the supreme sacrifice for our safety.
I mean, it really boils my blood when I talk about these terrorism activities. But as somebody who has been leading the Mumbai police for such a long time, एक झटके में अशोक कामटे sir, हेमंत करकरे ji and Vijay Salaskar, they were, I think, going to the backside of Kama Hospital, I think.
Yeah, they came from the Times of India lane.
Yeah.
It is called Sadruddin by the IFG road.
Right.
That's a road, yes.
And ek jhatke mein the terrorists were hiding and they shot
Ek
with a big
jhatka
jhatka.
means what? That word you are using is quite maybe appropriate otherwise. They had done their damage in Kama Hospital where the nurses and others did a heroic job of closing all the doors and windows. They allow them to enter into the ward. Sadanand Date, who had gone with his weapon and two men was shot there. He shot them, they shot him. The real battle took place only in that place. And of course, in DB Road where they put Tukaram Umle, that is another place where Iqbal was shot and dead by our officers. And the Kasab was caught alive by Tukaram Umle's sacrifice. So here, when these fellows came from Kama Hospital down, the gate, there is a tree. And above that, there is a tube light, the street light. The street light was not percolating down, so there was a tree and the darkness was there. These guys were waiting there to pick up any vehicle and go somewhere else as the predetermined tour of terrorism, where they were killing people. They had already shot people in VT station. We got pictures of Kasab. Went to Kama Hospital, there are no pictures about it. When they came down, this Qualis, which Salaskar was driving, and that is where Kamte was sitting in the middle with his AK-40. Kamte always carried a AK. He was the son of a brave colonel, and his grandfather was the IG of Maharashtra Police for 8.5 years after independence. Marutrao Kamte was his name. He has a pedigree, he has got a legacy, he's got a DNA of bravery. So he was there, and then our ATS chief Hemant Karkare, and he was another fantastic officer. They were all sitting in the front, some other men were sitting in the back. Qualis. When it came, it stopped. These fellows, without knowing who it is, they shot them through the glass and they died. They were never given a chance to take out the guns, get down, put up a fight. They would have done a fantastic job
I'm sure.
if there was an opportunity. Kamte was one who always slept with an AK-47. Yeah.
It's so unfortunate, and I want to come to the part where Mumbai police got hold of Kasab. That was, I think, the first point of fight back, because इसके पहले कोई पता नहीं था कि 10 है कि 20 है. It was his information, and also there was a lot of uncertainty, sir, if I can say that. You don't know if he's telling the truth or if he's lying, right, to misguide. So what was the psyche of Mumbai police when Kasab was caught? Were they in the mood of believing him at that point of time? What was the... I know it was a lot of tense situation at that point of time. If you can say something on that.
I will say there are a lot of confusion because how many people came, how did they come and all later. With hindsight knowledge, we can say all these things now. But they came, they got down and they went to Oberoi, they went to Taj and they went to CST and things like that. Leopold Cafe is the place where it began. And all that happened. But then he was caught unbelievably. It was a heroic act and fantastic it was. That gave the complete final thing as to 10 people came, 9 bodies were there and 1 man alive and all that. But the situation that time before Kasab was caught and all that, even to interrogate it would have taken some time. The whole thing was very, very terrifying, and then the policemen were getting dead and wireless messages and this, that, radio, TV, channel, they were all allowed a free access to Taj and Oberoi and all that. No? The image of Taj still there. So that was a 4-day operation. Then Nariman House, when the helicopter, people came down from helicopter, that was shown live TV and all that. So that should have been prevented actually. Commissioner of Police could have done it under 144 CRPC. Didn't happen. So because of that, the whole world got to know the first-hand experience of army coming, Marcos, that is the Navy commandos. Everything was known to everybody. We could have prevented it. We should have handled it in a different way.
And the handlers were using that information. That's what I want to know, that everything is not about law. Sometimes the common sense should also prevail. It should not be, guided by law. We should know that if we are showing all this on live television, just like our people, even their people can see and they can also use it against us.
They did. They have a control room in Karachi. Abu Jundal was the man who was doing it. They were all talking to each other all the time, motivating them through satellite phones. All of them are recorded, all of them have been analyzed, and all that has been done. But then it is now a past, thing of the past. It has gone, many years have gone. But the best point is now to talk to you about something very positive. After that, nothing happened. I got the chance to be the CP.
Just the next year.
The good. I mean, the positive part of the thing is I got to become the CP Bombay. The morale of the people was very low. They lost the complete confidence in the government that they can't do anything about protecting us. And the earlier experience of 1993 was also there. And then the policemen lost all the dear and close colleagues, and they were not given the leadership which they deserve. So with that, my job was to build up the morale, and then they gave money for the asking. So we bought we got 28 bulletproof boots from Government of India. We bought another equally matching 29 bullets from bulletproof boats for patrolling the sea, because they came from the sea. And the Navy and the Coast Guards didn't stop them, even though intelligence was there. Intelligence was there, but they didn't do that. So because of that, we did this. And then I created a QRT where I went to Israel, met the police commander and brought trainers. And then we bought all the guns necessary, most modern guns. Then we got bulletproof vehicles from Mahindra, 85 lakhs each, 40 of them. Then the QRT was put in that, and they had the bulletproof jackets. They were not available when these guys died because of that. 18 of them died because of the bulletproof jackets were not available. So I bought them on the first day of my coming, because we asked the builders industry called MCHI, Maharashtra Chamber of Commerce, the Maharashtra Chamber of Housing Industry, MCHI. They gave 500 bulletproof jackets of the quality which we require. All the men were wearing. So it was all happening in one time. I also created a Force 1, which is equivalent of energy. That time energy came 27 hours late because of the coming from Delhi and things like that. And they didn't know the topography of the area and the building plan. So we now, let us, how many years now? It is 15, 16 years? Yeah. 2008 now, 17 years? 17 years, the Force 1 and energy has been going to all the buildings, doing the training, where to enter, where to go, which is the connectivity and all that, which was not known to them at that time. We were not prepared. We should have been prepared, and we should have done various exercises, because the intelligence was there. That is we can check RD Pradhan committee where all this is analyzed. Whatever I am telling is nothing very out of the way. Right. RD Pradhan committee had one IPS officer called Mr. V. Balachandran. Both of them have inquired and put up whatever I have said. It is all part of the inquiry report. Anybody can download and see.
Absolutely. And I think the kind of differences that you made post 2009 till your tenure in 2011 was very, very significant. And I think now
the taste of the pudding is in the eating, Subhojit. From then to now, there is not a single terrorist aggregate. Touchwood, Force 1 has not been tested. Energy, we have given place now there in Barol. They have never been summoned. My QRT has been not used. My bulletproof vehicles have been not used. They are only running behind all the cricketers when the cricket takes place. With all that, things have changed to the positive. Touchwood, it should be remaining like that forever. Mumbai should feel safe. Through this, I want to tell the viewers that Mumbai is in the safe hands of the Mumbai police, the Force 1, the energy, the others and all are all doing a finest job, and you are safe. What happened has happened. We have learned a lot from there. We have come a long way from there.
Absolutely. And sir, we have few more questions to go before we end the podcast with sir. I want to talk about the film part of it. In 2002, company...
2001, Company by Ram Gopal Verma. Yeah.
Very interesting story. Ram Gopal Verma ji met you how many times?
Multiple times. I don't know the number. I gave him tea and we discussed. And actually it happened. The story is this. He made a fantastic movie called Satya. I don't know whether you remember.
1998. Manoj Bajpayee.
Yeah, Manoj Bajpayee was a Bakre, what's his name?
Bhiku Matre.
Bhikkhu Matre, fantastic character. I love that movie. I love the movie, all the characters, Kalu Mama and all that kind of thing. I love that movie. But what I didn't like, which I criticized RGV through newspaper interviews and all that, was that encounters take place and the gangsters come to a conclusion that they could shoot the commissioner of police, and they show in that movie, go back and check. They show a scene where the commissioner of police is shot dead. I was aghast.
I think Paresh Rawal was playing that
Whoever
character.
was that, I don't know. Let us not go into details. That's a different. But the point is that how dare you to show that when a constable has been not shot. Viewers, I want to tell you, no constable has been shot dead. One or two cases where something happened was all right. But with a plan of shooting anybody, nothing has happened. So if that is the case, how dare one to show that the commissioner of police, the idea, the thought process, getting into the brains of the criminals or gangsters was something which I didn't like. I was going all over the place without any protection and guns and various things. How can anybody think that a commissioner of police can be shot? So I was raising objections. He was disturbed by that. So he came to meet me and discuss. When we discussed, he heard all this story which I told you. Then he said, let us make an we do amends and then make another movie where this protagonist is shown as one who is intelligence driven, strategy driven, and how does he bring the Dawood Ibrahim control, how he does and all that kind of. It is a great tribute to the Mumbai police. Fantastic job.
Absolutely, and I think Mohanlal sir did a great job in playing
my
character.
Role.
It was supremely well done. We want to end the last part of the conversation with I want to talk about Roti Bank, sir. You've always been very human in terms of your approach. I mean, even like you mentioned that it was all the cases where my responsibility, but say underprivileged kids when they were harmed or unfortunately raped or molested, that used to break your heart, right? These are signs of humanity and human nature, right? I want to know what are the kind of differences that you're bringing to the society with Roti Bank.
After retirement, it is a new chapter. I retired in 2011. We are discussing in 2025. It's a good 14 years. So somewhere in 2017 and 2018, I began a Roti Bank because I wanted to feed the children who were all poor and hungry and all. That time the figure was 200 million Indians were going hungry, even though thousands of tons of food, cooked food was going waste. So I brought a bridge of cooked food going waste and people going hungry. So on a phone call, we could send a vehicle, collect the leftover food and give it to the poor people by doing a hunger mapping was my planning. But we could only collect and give 5 lakhs in the first year. Another 5 lakhs in the second year. That is 18 and 19. 1 million.
Right.
But then March 2020, COVID came. Everything stopped. All meetings, all marriages, all funeral, everything was stopped. Curfew in the road, even a stray dog was not going.
Yeah.
So that is the time when millions of migrant laborers were going and dying and all that. So I said, this is the time we should not close. We should start. Dharavi. Millions of people were completely covered. They were not able to go and no food and all that. So I hired 3 restaurants which were closed. I made my own kitchen, 4 restaurants, 47,000 meals we made and delivered to police stations where police stations made the line and gave them. So that was a fantastic operation. So as God has been so kind to me, we have done so far 22 million meals. Wow. That is 2 crores 20 lakhs meals we have given. And we don't give just like that, small little food. We give rice, roti, dal, sabji, banana and water. And Tata Cancer Hospital and KEM Hospital and various orphanages and all. Now, over the years, I have slowly changing the strategy of giving food only more to school children directly in the school so that they get attracted to school. And we add nutrition-loaded powder to that and then make it nutritionally valuable food so that they don't suffer from the side effects of the malnutrition, like shrunken chest and bloated stomach and eyes bulging and all that. No, they are all coming out of that. So we give around 15,000 meals to school children in Mumbai and 8,000 in Nagpur. 23,000 meals we give in a day. And this is an NGO. You may be wondering as to where from your old man you are getting money. It is an NGO and people contribute and generosity is unlimited. And even if I take it up further, people are willing to give money to us. And we got 15 vehicles and drivers and cook and modern kitchen. Oh, it works. I must salute the generosity of the Mumbaikars. They are taking care of us. And we are taking care of the poor. And I want to tell you now, the amount of poverty we can explain by saying our Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji is giving grains to 81 crores, 810 million Indians get free grains every month. That is the level of poverty we have. So we are only touching, we are only scratching the surface. Long way to go, long more to do. And the children should study well. We want to have a Tandurust Bharat. So that is the whole idea of running a roti bank.
I think an officer who's dedicated to the society, who's dedicated to the country, never really retires. The uniform might retire, but the officer in him is always there. And when that meets good intent alongside good people, then we try to make a difference to the society to make it a better place to live in. And that's exactly what Sir is doing. My last question to you would be, in your entire life, I know you have been in various positions, sir, where a lot of advices, suggestions must have been given to you. But what is that one, karo dil ki marzi moment in your life where no matter whatever suggestions or advices were given to you, you listen to your heart, and when you look back today, you're very proud of that decision.
The very proud of the proud decision is to quit as a professor and come into police.
Absolutely, sir. Most needed.
And that also a foolish thing, saying that, oh, this is dull and very monotonous. The same thing Adam Smith I was teaching all the day.
Yeah.
So I thought we must, as a young fellow, I must do something. So that time the Hindi movies also, a lot of Amitabh Bachchan came in, Zanjeer and all that, saying the dynamic dashing. So I got in the first attempt, as I told you, in the police and never tried to improve to IAS, IFL and all. No, I said IPS is the best. Of course, everything is the same. Salary is the same.
Right.
Rank is the same. But then, would you like to jump into this kind of a roller coaster ride? So the decision is that in Tamil there is a proverb which says, which many viewers will remember, Yamarkum kudiyallom namanayanjom. Means I am not subject of somebody, I am not subjugating myself to any authority. And I am not afraid of death. This is the meaning of the Tamil proverb I told you. That is what motivated, that is what is driven. The basic thing is that you don't die multiple times, you die only once. Why don't you die as a heroic death and then leave some contribution, leave a punch in the universe? That's what is the thing which drove. And of course, you can set things. Another thing is the whole idea of transformational leadership. You saw something and you can't leave it like that and escape saying that बच के भागना है, that मुझे कुछ नहीं हुआ, बहुत हो गया, इतना लोग मर रहा है, मरने दो. That is not the attitude. Everyone dying was taking a piece of my heart, a part of my heart. So I said I have to stop, and that is what happened.
Sir, all I can say is that I've told you this multiple number of times, but it's, जितने आपके realistic stories सुनता हूँ, time can never really curtail it. We have to put it in a duration, but I can keep listening to you all day. That's the kind of stories that you have, sir. And you've been a part of the space even before I was born. So a lot of stories which are very, very new for me as well. But all I can say is that with all my love, respect and regards for you, I think I just want to express my gratitude for being on my channel, sir.
Thank you so much.
It's absolutely an honor and privilege.
Thank
and the
you.
kind of satisfaction that I get with these conversations, because these are the real heroes. Their stories need to reach a lot more audience than perhaps it does. And if my platform plays a small role in that, I'm very, very happy.